White Flame V2.1. What's happening? You the first one. Right behind you is On My Way to It. I see that. I feel that. CT Kisses 12. I see you. What's happening, man? What's good? On My Way to It. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the live, man. Welcome to We Poppin' Son, and number one father and son talk show in the world. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Rastafari, bro. Long time. Long time. Long before it was trending, man. I had locks. I locked my hair in like 91. 91, straight from the flat top. And I ain't had the high flat. My flat top wasn't like, my shit was like military flat top. Damn near. Crazy. I used to be on the block. Motherfuckers, I used to have on like a bubble. I have on a bubble vest, sweatshirt, bubble vest. You know what I'm saying? Some straight leg Levi's and some, what was it, 570s? Something like that. New Balance. Motherfuckers used to swear I was a detective. Real clean face, but they used to swear I was a detective. I appreciate that, CT Kisses. We're going to definitely get into that. He said, love hearing the history of the land. I'm getting into some stuff. I'm waiting for Ty to jump on. JT XP, what's happening, JT? What's good with you, man? So, yeah, man. I know everybody saw, well, maybe not, that Big Bank and 6ix9ine interview. Big Bank didn't do himself no favors with that interview. That's a fact. Did y'all see it? Anybody see that? What up, Ed? Ed Morning 77. What's happening, Alchemist? What's going on with you, bro? What's happening? Talk to me. So, I watched that, and it was obvious that 6ix9ine had paid him. And 6ix9ine said it, you know? It's all good, God. And he figured out a way to slide into the fact, one, that he paid him to be there, and two, how much he paid him. Because once he slipped it in, you know, I paid you to be here. Then a while after that, he slipped in, I'll give you another 10,000 if, you know, some random shit, some random shit, some like not even serious, just trying to take advantage of an opportunity to say that, you know, I'll give you another 10,000 to let people know that he paid him 10,000 come down there. And he acted like he got paid. What's going on, Maurice, House of Sufyan? Yo, the headphones went out last night. They just stopped working. It's like they'll connect, but I don't hear anything. You know, I don't know what happened, but it was good while it lasted. I appreciate you, brother. House of Sufyan, thank you for tapping in there. Maurice. Ruchi. What's going on, Ruchi? What's good? And shit. So yeah, the guy, I say shit because my website guy just texted me and I'm live now. So the guy, 6ix9ine, he really controlled that whole conversation. And Bank acted like a backdrop to his shit, you know? We Poppin' Son talk show. What's up, Ty? What's up, Shah Rod One? Hey, Ty, they won't let you come on your own. So yeah, he got up there, man, and let that boy. Oh, there you go, Ty. I see your regular one. He let that boy basically just run roughshod over him, bro. He really did. He really did. I don't think that his father is going to be appreciative of that. What's going on, son? How you doing?
What's good?
What up, Dre Ski One? What's happening with you, man? Thank you for tapping in. And those of you who don't know, like maybe can't see the forest that just joined us, for y'all that don't know, this is the We Poppin' Son talk show. I am your co-host, Cavario H.
And I'm comedian Tom Mills.
And you are watching the We Poppin' Son talk show.
You can find us on iHeartRadio at Blazing 420 at WPAM, where you can find future episodes on YouTube at Cavario the Mind Plug or comedian Tom Mills.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I was starting the conversation off on what up, Always One. I was starting the conversation off on that 6ix9ine and Bank interview, which was a debacle. That shit was a debacle. You dig? Like he worked that boy. You know, Dirt Jr. was happening. Jermaine Renegade 24. I see you. Yeah, it was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. Like the way that he was dominating him. And I understand you in the man's house and all that, whatever, but you came there with a point and purpose, you know, and I'm not really sure that he really did come there with a point and purpose. To be honest with you, the things that he was saying, he came completely fucking unprepared. You know, he talked like he was familiar with 6ix9ine's antagonistic personality, right? Because he spoke to it a lot. I think that he came in with a really narrow perspective about the board, 6ix9ine, and I think that it was like he only thought about what he was going to say. He didn't think about what it is he has observed about the young man's personality and how that might impact whatever it is that he intended to say to the young man.
Or him having a slideshow and not like the nigga had a whole slideshow, and it's like if you a stupid person, but you got like like I could make if I could make a fucking Gazoo pop up on my shoulder right now. Like you, if I imagine all the crazy shit out, boy, like he was just focused on getting his shit off, and his point was like they ratted, but I ratted too. Why they more bad at? It was like he wasn't really trying to have a conversation. He was just trying to take someone that people hold to a certain esteem and bring him into his realm of chaos and make him look ignorant. So it takes away from any credibility that he could have because it's like, man, you don't even know what to say. But it's like it's such chaos going on unless you going to join the fucking chaos, then you don't know what to do. Like if Mano would have interviewed him, it would have been a better interview. Mano would have slapped shit out of him. They would have stopped it a couple times. They'd be like, yo, we had to get this shit right. You know what I'm saying? And he would have came back, he would have had the ice on his head, he'd have been sitting down, he wouldn't have been all that. And he'd be like, hey, you stop with all the extra shit. Because that's what Bank be taking hikes for Stone Mountain and taking walks in the nature and shit. Like that's what he be organizing. He chilling now. Like he passed the point of wilding out with the young niggas and shit. All he got for you is, all right, young nigga. Like that's all he really had. Like the young, he was just all standing up. Yeah. So nigga, so what about 21? That's your man, but your man. I was like, yo, stop, say that nigga my man one more time. Like stop you playing with me. You trying to put what they said on me, and I ain't them niggas. I'm my old man, but you gotta recognize the game you playing. But yeah, Bank chilling.
Ed said Ed Morning 77 says 6ix9ine is loud jail day room energy.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
He said if you don't know how to handle that retarded shit, then you're in for a ride. Yeah. 6ix9ine acts like he's hypermanic. He acts like he is either on or needs to be on medication. For sure, he does. He definitely does. And if I were to find out he was on medication, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I would at this point I wouldn't be surprised. I think he's learned to play to the audience, and he learned what gains attention. Even in his loss, and when he came back to the internet, it was like, how do I come back and attack this so people can receive me in the right way or perceive me in the right way? And it was just like, I'm going to just show such a opulence lifestyle. It's like, man, fuck that shit, nigga. I'm out here still getting money. Nigga, I got a song with Nicki Minaj, and he just show you numbers and money, and it's like, nigga, I'm up. Like, if I keep giving you delusion that I'm winning, then, my actions don't mean nothing.
And, he's right. He's tapped into the same mentality. I guess you would call it a cult mentality that Trump has tapped into. He's tapped into or tuned into the fact that the average person is super uninformed, lacks any degree of structural thinking whatsoever. So all you have to do is It's like putting a piece of meat in front of a hungry, ravenous bunch of dogs. They don't really have any idea about anything other than that. I want that. You have something I want. I want what you have. Give me, I want that. That's it. Whatever. Everything else is like, what the fuck ever. That it's a bad thing. I mean, overall, society is in this condition, as far as I can tell. It's a super bad thing. Super duper bad thing. It's going to be an interesting next few years. I'm telling you.
Definitely.
I'm telling you, boy. For real. Because people are fucking stupid as shit. They really are. They really are.
They proud stupid. That's what make it worse. They proud.
That's right. That's right. You know,
like that. The lady, she was going around pretending to be a doctor, and she got on Joe Budden's podcast, and just these non-doctor, non-college graduated motherfuckers done made her put herself into a space where people are like, hey, this bitch is lying. Because you don't talk so much, and now you don't sat here and talk with niggas that talk, and now you so far from what you supposed to be doing that it's like, she lying.
so she's pretending to be a doctor,
Yes.
like a medical
Giving
doctor.
out therapeutic advice in in analyzing people.
I mean, you can, if you have the actual competence, you can read the books that, certain types of, like, say in my space, clinician, right?
Yes.
I don't have any certification from some institution that claims to be the only place or the only way that you can be anointed with the ability to do certain things, understand certain things, see and explain certain things. I don't have any accreditation from anything like that at all. But I have friends and associates who are certified psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever. And when we sit down and talk and have conversations, you nobody can tell that I don't even have a high school diploma.
You right.
I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You're also not saying you're a doctor.
No, because that's crazy.
Therapist, so it's like
that's crazy.
It's okay for you. Like
that's crazy. I'm just I'm just giving people information based on understanding that I've assessed and continue to grow and expand on whatever. Yes. But I don't tell a motherfucker, yes, my name is Dr. Cavario. You know what I mean? Like, that's craziness.
Yes.
See, that's craziness. That's crazy behavior. That's what crazy people do. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
Said, you don't do that. She said, "Yo, I'm not licensed because I don't want to have to diagnose you, and it's better for billing. So I'm not licensed, and I'm not under any jurisdiction." And it's like that's even more dangerous.
I mean, she's not prescribing medicine, right?
She's selling the idea that I'm a doctor. She's getting on platforms and spreading information under a false pretense, and she's spreading misinformation.
When I was in my older cousin Lila Africa's training classes, right? When the one I took me and Dana to, and my wife got her certification. Like when you complete your holistic practitioner's certification, you can legally put doctor in front of you, doctor of holistic health. You can do that. Now I don't know that is not something that applies to like medical doctor. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that as a medical doctor
or a therapist.
Or even, I mean, you can say you're a therapist. You can say you're a therapist or a counselor, but to say you're a doctor implies that you have a doctorate.
Yes.
Based upon the rules around those situations. And at the end of the day, you keep in mind, all of this shit is made up.
Yes.
All of it's made up, okay? Just because it's been widely institutionalized does not make it some shit that was ordained by the higher power that created all things.
So
there's people who say, hey, we're in charge. Let's make rules and regulations, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, It's like why people pay for fishing licenses and hunting licenses. There was a time when people just go the fuck outside, go to lake and fish.
Yes.
And somebody saying, what if we, because we're in control and we have enforcement, made people pay for a license to actually do this stuff? And then, you know, it was like, we could make them pay for licenses to do this and make them pay for licenses to do this, make them pay for licenses to drive, like all of that stuff. Like all of that stuff is made up. Keep that in mind, people. All this stuff is made up by people.
Like even how they made cars and roads and shit. Like how people used to walk and ride bikes and stuff. And then
it's all made up.
The car companies went with the lawmakers and it was like, yo, we're going to make it a law because we keep hitting people on the road. So we're going to say you can't be in the road. And then we're going to make it illegal for them to just cross and walk in the road and make it a thing of you just poor. That's why you in the road. That's why you in the road. They made it a thing of class.
That's right. Everything is class. Everything. Every fucking thing. There was a couple of things that I remember about that bank shit that I wanted to say something about. Him not knowing that Gunner had cooperated prior to the situation with the thug situation. That's inexcusable. That's fucking inexcusable, bro. You want to consider yourself, and he couldn't find the word. It took him a minute, but you want to consider yourself a journalist? He's like, I'm a what they call it? Yeah, journalist, nigga. And you're not one, bro. You're not a journalist, my nigga.
You're a duct tape journalist.
A duct tape journalist? Okay.
Duct tape the shit out there.
I mean,
hey, I'm gonna read all your information and shit. I got your credit cards.
Right. Like, yeah, okay. But like this is really about the lowering of the bar of everything, like I've spoken about before. The lowering of the bar for everything is the problem. Lowering the bar for everything so that everybody can feel they're qualified to be included is the problem. Having no standards for anything is the problem. That's with this lady we were just talking about. Yeah. She people like her, they attempt to lower the bar for the criteria that other people have had to meet in order to be able to call themselves doctors. Although I was just saying, like, yeah, this stuff is all made up, whatever. It's not like there's no reason for some of this structure. Before there was a system that determined that there needed to be a certain level of education, qualification, aptitude, just criteria, right? Before that, anybody was doing anything and people were getting hurt, harmed, and done wrong. You know, that's generally why regulations are brought into anything, because shit is out of control. And when there's no structure to something, then it can't exist, no matter what it is, whether it's legitimate or illegitimate.
You remember when football had leather helmets?
Yep, sure as shit. When Jim Thorpe was playing, when I was a kid, Jim Thorpe was one of my sports heroes. Him and Jesse Owens.
Remember leather helmets? God damn, you old.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was born in the late '60s, so I just remember like all of the highlights from the stuff that I was growing up, like in the contemporary time of the game being played at that time. It had highlights from previous eras. Yeah. In the most previous era to that contemporary time that I was, living in real time, the players wore leather helmets. Damn. So they hadn't too long been out of leather helmets by the time I started paying attention. You know what I mean? So yeah, I remember that. Right? And it's like there are reasons for most everything. There are legitimate reasons for most everything. Most everything. I don't know if that's so much true anymore. I don't know if there's so much legitimate reasons. There are reasons, but not really legitimate reasons for the kind of a lot of the shit that goes on now. Now a lot of shit that goes on now is just about the nefarious, criminal, narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, sycophantic nature of society.
And that's the reason. The reason is that you have these types of personality types that are in positions of control and power.
How can I
You know,
make money off of it? Or how can I fuck it?
that's it. That's it. But the structure that they built their structure on top of, which is how they were able to do what they do, is based in things that were really necessary to happen, you know, based upon what people were doing and what was happening behind what people were doing. It's like, oh, we got to do something. Like, somebody got to come in to stop people from doing this type of shit because people are being harmed, right? So structure is what it all comes down to, right? Which brings up another point that I want to address that's directly connected to the conversation that this guy had with Bank and the things that he was saying, and you know the way that Bank was conducting himself under the auspices of being a journalist, and the conversation we were having earlier about, or last week about you and I offline about Alfa Mega. He's popping up. I don't know if y'all know what Alfa Mega is, but Alfa Mega is the guy who was down with T.I. back in the early 2000s. Could you say early 2000s? Like 2000?
Grand hustle muscle.
The Grand Hustle Muscle. He's a guy who was out of Techwood Projects, which is the first projects in America. And it was a wild era, you know. And so, and he was, you know, he was a wild, young, you know, ignorant little nigger boy from the hood, you know, doing what that does when you come from no structure. You feel me? So it was like, hey, black men, did you turn down? So it was like, I just want to make sure I keep up with the, what you call it. What's up, Tina Davis, 22, what's happening? Yep, that's right. Policy 218 said rat. That's right. That's right. So my Alpha. That's right. Always one. I see you. I see you. I see you. Brodus 964, what's happening with you? Thanks for tapping in, Brodus 964. I don't think I've ever seen you in the live before. So let me try to make sure I keep this in the line of what I want to make as my point, you know, tonight from the perspective of all these different things and how it all comes down to one thing. So 6ix9ine in the conversation was trying to basically say, why am I the bad guy when all of these guys, specifically your guys in Atlanta, Bank, they have done the same thing I've done in one form or another. He pointed out the criteria for 21 getting his U visa, which is, as he explained, I never heard of it before. He brought it up. The U visa is a visa that is given to a person who is from another country who becomes a victim of a crime. And the crime that they were referring to is the instance in which 21 got shot in 2013, right? Was somebody else with him died in that? Isn't that right? In that instance?
I don't know.
If I don't know, I kind of think, or maybe I might be thinking about the fact that Bankroll Fresh was 21's man and he got killed. Maybe not in that particular instance, but he got killed. But anyway, the U visa is something that you can get. I'm looking up now because I didn't look it up. I remember, you know, him mentioning it and talking about how when a person from another country is the victim of a violent crime in this country, they give that person a U visa. And that U visa says basically you are an official citizen of America. Sorry about what happened to you, type shit. But one of the criteria is that you have to, this is what he said. I'm just checking to see whether this is what the information I'm getting. He said that in order for 21 to have gotten that visa, he had to have, and he brought up on the screen, he had to have cooperated in the investigation of the crime that the person had been subjected to. to say like, yeah, that person did it, or this person did it, or that's the person that did it to me when they get them, that type of shit, right? So I'm going to ask my AI, does the recipient of a U visa have to cooperate with law enforcement in the investigation of the crime they were a victim of?
I said he don't know what the hell he talking about, and the nigga used Google, and Google don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I'm checking, you know, and to see, and you know what else? 69 knows. 669 knows that he was talking to somebody who admittedly is an uninformed person. That told him. That told the person, like, it's obvious that Daniel Hernandez is not. He's not stupid, and he's So, okay, the question I asked, right? What was the question I asked? Does the recipient of a U visa have to cooperate with law enforcement in the investigation of the crime they were a victim of? It says, short answer, yes. To qualify for a U visa, the applicant must show they have been, are being, or are likely to be helpful to law enforcement in the investigation or prosecution of the qualifying crime, though the requirement is satisfied by a law enforcement certification rather than a strict ongoing duty to cooperate in every request. Okay. So you kind of got to tell them, yeah, if you find the guy, at the very least, right? If you find the guy, I'll let you know. I'll identify him. If it's him, I'll say, yeah, that's him. That's kind of it is a prerequisite. You do have to give the impression, at the very least, the impression that you're going to participate in helping them, get the person who did it.
Ask it if you don't know who shot you, and you say, "I don't know who shot me." Can the person still get it then? Because
I mean,
we're
if
asking
they,
in such a way where it's answering it, but it's kind of open to, like, based upon how you want to interpret it. That's kind of how a court goes, unless you ask them for something specific.
so as I think of a U visa like a special pass being given to somebody who were hurt, somebody was given to people who's hurt by a crime, and help the police. To get the pass, you need to show you either help the police already or are helping them now, or likely to help them in the future. That's it. That's it. That's it. Otherwise, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't have to promise to do everything the police ask forever, but instead, a police officer or another official fills out a short form that says, this person has been or will be helpful. That form is what the immigration people use to decide if you can get the pass. So you must be willing to help the police about the crime, but it's the official's signed note, the certification, not a forever promise that proves it. So you do have to be like, yeah, yo, I'm gonna help. If y'all catch him, I'm gonna help. If you show me his picture, I'll identify him. Like, you have to do that. And that was 6ix9ine's point. Not that he was saying that that's what he did do, but he was saying that if he agreed to this, it definitely ain't no different than T.I. getting on the 1-800-TIPS video. It's no different than that. That's for sure. It's as questionable as a person might think that is. That's like, if you're supposed to be standing on street shit, which, I don't see how by the standard that I hold, which is an authentic, genuine standard of street nigga shit, I don't see how any of these guys qualify for street nigga shit. You're rappers, my nigga. You're entertainers.
And that's why I be like, a rapper doing a PSA talking about say no to crime, and if you see crime, call this tip line. He didn't snitch on nobody. He just promoted nonviolence and you helping the police. But it's not like he didn't commit a crime and say, y'all, I'm telling on nobody. So it's like you can't even be a rapper and be y'all might as well, he might as well show Common. Look, Common, this nigga rap positive, son. This nigga, all he do is rap positive. This nigga, beautiful black woman, black queen, he wanna rape. Yo, he wanna marry. What kind of nigga wanna rap? He's supposed to be like, it's like, you're not allowing people to be a real person in their art, in their creativity. You holding them to, you holding them to the most idiotic level of street shit. Like, just like, no, he said he's street, so he can't do this. He can't. That nigga wore a seatbelt. Nigga, I thought you a street nigga. I thought you outside. You wearing seatbelts, nigga? It's like, where is the line? Like, you gotta stop trying to like make it this weird, obscure ass fucking thing. Like,
so that goes to that issue that I've been talking about in different ways throughout the time we've been doing this, about lowering the bar so much that everybody and their mama thinks that they're qualified to even speak on these things. The majority of people are not qualified to even speak on these things. Now, if you got a whole other world, right? A whole other world, a whole other realm of reality where the artists and the people who support their music, listen to their music, subscribe to their music and so forth, where they have their own separate reality. And within that reality, this is what they do. The rappers pretend to be about a certain thing, basically to be the personification of their lyrics. And then the people who listen to it pretend that the rappers are the personification of those lyrics. And so they get to hold them to that. And they get to have that whole conversation, that whole interaction within their realm. But those of us who are really from that life, we don't pay that shit any attention whatsoever. We don't hold that to any kind of standard of reality or truth or nothing. It's nonsense to us. It's child's play. It is child's play. And it is child thinking. It's child operation. It's juvenilistic. Period. Right? When it spills over into broader society, it's like a poison. And everything that comes out of it taints reality, the broader reality. So 6ix9ine's overall message was one, and I want to give him this. Bank making this point about what makes you worse, because he asked, what makes me worse than 21 and how he got his U visa, or Thug having a 3-hour fucking non-represented, meaning no lawyer present, conversation in an interrogation room with the police, or doing an 800 tips call or commercial, or Gunna being on camera and like basically telling the police, no, y'all got the wrong guy, the right guy, this guy, blah, blah. Like, what makes what I did worse than what they did? And Banks said, well, you got niggas 100 years collectively. That was his retort. He was like, bro, firstly, Bank didn't know that, or says he didn't know that Jeffrey's interrogation was 3 hours long. Firstly, you're a journalist and you know this nigga, and you didn't know his interrogation was 3 hours long. Okay. You're a journalist and you know this nigga, and you didn't know that Gunna had cooperated in the previous case, which 21 did a tweet that Daniel Hernandez brought up on the screen and said, 21 said that, addressing Thug, you knew that he wasn't gangster or street when he told the first time. So basically, get over it, get back with your brother, and y'all keep doing what y'all do. Because we already knew he wasn't that from the first time he did. So, like, basically, what makes me worse? And Banks' response was, what makes you worse is that you got these guys collecting 100 years. And he said, is that right? Okay, Bank. These guys were under investigation. He brought it up from 2013 to 2018. I came along in 2018. So they had been on investigation for robbery, drug dealing, shooting, murder, since, a gang organization, for 5 years prior to me coming along. I was only participating in the part that pertained to me in the crime that was committed against me that I was also charged in, my own kidnapping. So you'll know how the feds play. He was charged for his own kidnapping, right? So, which is what they do in order, it's nonsensical, but they do that in order to put more pressure on a person who is actually an actual participant in a criminal collective, a group of people, committing crime. And it's like, your crew kidnapped you, turned on you and kidnapped you, and you're being charged with the kidnapping because you're part of that crew, even though you're the victim in the kidnapping. So we're charging you with kidnapping, and you're facing this much more time. And it's like, okay, well, they kidnapped me, firstly, right? So you're making me the participant in a crime that I was the victim in, and you're trying to leverage that to give me time. And
Yes.
or motivate me to tell on niggas who cross me. You ain't even got to do all that, bro. Because the motherfuckers crossed me. So since I can't shoot them, I'm going to tell on them. So, they just doubled down on what was going to happen anyway, because he was going to get at them anyway, between the screwing his daughter's mom and stealing his money and kidnapping him. He was going to do it anyway, but he did get charged for that. And that's what he testified to. So there are only two people within his case, according to what he showed, that were impacted by his testimony. All the rest of those people and the people he told on, the two he gave testimony against, and he wasn't the only person in the case who gave testimony, they were all already hooked up in what was, by the standards of RICO, a RICO, regardless. So even if 6ix9ine never came along, yeah, they were going to jail, and they were going to get as much time as they got if they did what they did, which if they didn't have some type of resources at that point, which I'm sure they got from him or being around him, they wouldn't have even gone to trial. I don't believe, but they was going to get that time regardless. Huh?
You said without him, you don't think they would have went to trial?
Because without him, I don't think they would have had access to the resources in order for them to go to trial.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So they would have just pled out like most people do, like 96% of the people who catch federal cases do, which is why they have such a high conviction rate.
They was in such a weird space because he was telling everybody to suck my dick, like, none of the venues, none of the Live Nation venues, they wouldn't book him. So he couldn't get on none of the festivals. He couldn't get on none of the major tours. So it's like you got a hot song and you buzzing. You could sell out all the clubs, but you a security risk. The security risk on you because you tell everybody, we bring you to the city, you tell everybody, fuck you. So now all the niggas that's on the bullshit is coming. So, you know what I'm saying? It makes it chaotic. It's like when NBA Youngboy just went on tour. He don't be saying that, but he NBA Youngboy. He done told niggas in Chicago, hey, fuck y'all. So when they went to Chicago, it was a shootout. He went to Atlanta, some shit popped off in Atlanta. Like, you know what I'm saying? The cities where you don't get into it with people, it's like them niggas gonna show up.
Yeah, but they playing gangbanging games. Isn't that what they do? Like, that's the whole point and purpose of gangbanging, to stir the shit pot because you're a fucking idiot and you don't know what else to do with yourself, because you have some type of psycho-emotional issue, because you're missing your daddy or something. Like, that's why you'll do what you do, right? That's why you gangbang, right? Because you're looking for something, right? That's what they do. It's nonsensical, But the fact that he was able to make the point that, one, you don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Journalist. You came here completely unprepared to have this conversation, Mr. Journalist. You don't know what your boy Jeffrey did. You don't know what your boy 21 did. You don't know what your boy Gunner did. You don't know what actually happened with my situation, but you want to talk to me about my situation, and then you claim to be a journalist. And you don't know what a journalist is, my nigga. You do not know what a journalist is. You're not a
You know what's
journalist, my guy.
crazy is Bank never said that. Bank never said what you did is worse. He asked him why what I did was worse, and he responded to it. And then that became
Yeah, well, that response.
that became the way to kick his whole boy. Get the hell out of my head! Like you don't have shit.
But
He
see, the
like
thing is,
dismissed everything you was standing for. It was trying to present.
yeah, but it's like so basically he was getting played. He was being corralled into a shoot so that he could be hit. You feel me? And just so you all understand what I'm saying, when you're being corralled, that's what they do with cattle. You know, cattlemen, they corral them. You know, they move the cattle, you know, from one point to another, and they stay on either side and push them into a space, usually a chute, so they can move them through wherever they got to move them through, maybe to go to slaughter. You get them off the range and get them into the chute so they'll be easier to kill type of shit. That's what Bank let 6ix9ine do to him. By asking him, because the more he talked, the more he revealed that he was not informed. That he just took that money and came running. When he just got offered that money and came running for that money. And he was thinking, you know, greed. And so when he told him, you, Lisa, why do you ask me if I know what the circumstances of 21 being here are? I don't know. Oh, you don't know? Okay. You didn't know that this guy was in a interrogation room for 3 hours? No, I didn't know that. And just getting him right in that space. As soon as you get him right in that tight ass space, like, all right, now, nigga, now I can hit you. You ain't got nowhere to move. And start hitting. So you didn't know this. You didn't know that. It looked ridiculous. And he kept basically saying, all right, you beating me up, you slapping me around. Stop dominating. It's like, what the fuck is you doing, bro? Seriously, what are you doing? And I don't know, man. It just getting back to that lowering the bar shit.
Yeah.
6ix9ine made that comment that I've seen quite a few people make, including Alfa Mega in this recent interview that he did. This particular one he did with this white dude that talks to a lot of people who've been to jail, and they made these statements about code. There ain't no code. There is no code. The code doesn't exist. Let me explain something, you motherfuckers, man. Listen. When something is codified, that means there are standards, ethics, morals, and structure put to it. That's the system by which whatever it is can exist. It is the thing that says, in order for you to ride this ride, whether it's streets or corporate or gang life or whatever the fuck it is, you got to be this tall to ride this ride. You got to walk this way, talk this way, act this way, think this way, move this way. You know what I mean? This is the code. That's the code. So for a motherfucker to say, I'm a street nigga, but there ain't no code. I'm in the street, there ain't no code, or there is no code of the streets, whatever. All you're saying to somebody who's really of it is, I ain't really what I'm saying I am. Because I'm not aware of the existence of this absolute structure that exists. I'm not aware of it. So if you're not aware of it, that means you're not a participant in it. Not really. You think you are, but you're not. You never were. There's no way that the tons and tons and tons of money that had been generated in the streets for generations prior to this generation, there's no way in the world that it could have worked for as long as it did if there was no code. You motherfuckers are using terms you don't know the meaning of. You use the word code, but you don't know what it means. You're referencing something. You're saying something that you don't know the meaning of it. You know the word code. You've heard it before. You've heard it said. You've heard it in the context. So because of the context clues, you speak it like you know what you're talking about, but you don't know what you're talking about. And anybody that does know what you're talking about knows you don't know what you're talking about as soon as you start talking about it. Because you said, there ain't no code. There ain't no code. Motherfucker, there absolutely is a code. Now, whether there are any people left to uphold that code is another question. But you're a goddamn jackass, backward, stupid, ignorant motherfucking monkey if you think that there's no code. Everything that exists that has any type of value to it has a code. Gang life has a code. It's a code. Everything has a code, you dumbass. Every fucking thing. Like, who the fuck raised you people, man? Who's responsible for you being this way? Like, did all your fathers fail? What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, of course there's a code. Of course there is. There are rules and there's regulations. There's processes and there's standards, and you have to meet them in order to participate in whatever the fuck it is that you're participating in. Everything that has any value has a code. It's unbelievable how fucking stupid people are, bro. It's unbelievable that you motherfuckers are not dying by greater numbers than you are. It is unbelievable. It is unfucking believable that, I guess, it's a matter of numbers. There are so many of you, and so it's going to take but so much time for all of you who operate this way with this level of non-thinking to actually come to the point where you're dealing with the consequences of your non-thinking. It's happening, but it's not happening at as great a rate as one might think it would, although it's happening at a much greater rate than it was, say, 30 years ago. 30 years ago, niggas was getting their head knocked off, but not like now. Not like now. Like 30 years ago, a rapper wasn't likely to get killed. Very unlikely.
Boy, you could be a local rapper and you get burned down, boy.
That's right. Now, a rapper is just as likely to get killed as a nigga in the street. That's what you call...
Two NBA niggas. Two NBA niggas died today. Two NBA dudes. One had
Really?
cancer. I don't know how the other one died. He 29 years old.
I mean, but those things, those types of outcomes, nonviolent outcomes, nonviolent deaths, they also are indicative of a deteriorating, non-structured existence.
Yeah.
You know, because motherfuckers have no concept whatsoever of self-care. None whatsoever. It's like, do whatever. I'm young. I can do anything. You know, and the fact that I'm young and I am in a position that statistically, you know, one in a million are likely to get into, I still have the same irresponsible type of mentality as though I was some random, non-known person, you know, walking the damn street. But I'm in the NBA. I'm a one in a million, you know, but I'm acting just like a motherfucker walking down the street that no one will ever hear of. That's a breakdown, because Kobe wasn't like that. Jordan wasn't like that. You know, LeBron wasn't like that. Like, they understood the necessity of, what the fuck doing that? You know I'm alive. Why would you be doing that? So, you know, it's actually because of this idea that there is no... What the? Hey, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, this person knows that I'm live. This person has gotten on the live many times. Like, What the fuck is your mindset? Yep. So the fact that there's a general understanding of a general idea of there is no structure to anything. There is no code to anything. There's no code to life. Life has certain criteria, certain standards, certain processes, certain structure that in order for you to have any semblance of a quality of life, you have to assimilate with, you have to respect, you have to regard, you have to incorporate. Otherwise, your life is going to be shit and short. That's the fact. So the idea, whatever that idea is applied, that there is no code is a very, very destructive, and obviously based upon how things have gotten progressively worse with the last 3 generations, that it's spread all over the fucking place. The idea that there is no code, there's no structure. Case in point, you sent me a video clip yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a guy at a gas station. Where was that? You know?
Gastonia, North Carolina.
That makes sense. I used to get money in Gastonia. I don't think I went. I might have went in it one time because it was so small. But this is back in late 80s, early 90s. My cousin in Charlotte, my family's from Creektown in North Carolina. So my cousin in Charlotte, one of my cousins, his oldest son's mother, she's from Gastonia. I forget her name. She's from Gastonia. And Gastonia is like this little ass place, a little south of Charlotte, little ass tiny place. But obviously the money was crazy. I mean, the money was crazy in Charlotte. Like you was getting $110 a gram of some shit that you put a 2 on. So, for every 1 gram of coke, you put 2 grams of cut, and you could sell that gram for $110. That was in Charlotte. In Gastonia, you off of a key, and I wouldn't take a key in that time. Like off of 125 grams, off of an eighth, you'd make $35,000 off of an eighth that at the time might have cost $2,500. Like it was ridiculous. Gastonia was crazy. So it's a little town. I don't know how it is now. I haven't been in that town in decades, but I don't imagine it's progressed much. And I imagine that it's been highly, highly impacted by the types of things we've been talking about in terms of these types of individuals, these rapper type individuals that have gotten this level of influence that has enabled them to pass on their nonsensical fucking ideas to people. That little world that realm I was just talking about the rappers and then personifying their lyrical content and the fools who watch them and listen to them and act like it's all real. Well, Gastonia is in that. Gastonia is inside that little bubble there. So this guy in this video is what I would call the ultimate outcome of that influence. So the video you sent me, the guy he looked to be early 30s to me. What would you say?
Yeah, about early 30s, late 20s.
So he looked like he's about maybe at least 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
He was wearing red sneakers, red sweatpants, red jacket, red hat. And so it was obvious that he was trying to give off a Pyru feel, blood feel, something like that. Right? So in the beginning of the clip, you see him beefing. It starts right out, yeah, man, you don't get the fuck out of my face, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like that. I'm like that. I'm like that. You know what I'm saying? And you don't see you talking. Then you see him motherfucker coming to the frame, and he's about maybe 5'4", 5'5". Look like he's about late 60s, hard late 60s. I've been drinking all my life, like late 60s, early 70s. And he's shuffling, what you talking about? Oh, this is an old, drunk, apparently gas station guy. You know, every gas station in hoods where they got this guy, right? Oh man, he's a little old man.
Yeah.
And but his niggas beefing with this guy, like his shit, he on 10. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like that. You know what I'm saying? Back the fuck up off of me, nigga. Like this and other. And they go from outside to inside. And the whole time, you know, he's beefing, whatever. He's egging this on, this nigga in this red.
He
And
said
the
he
old
was
man,
trying to be nice at first. He said, I was trying to be nice to you. And he walked up to him, but the old dude wasn't like, nah, I don't, basically whatever you saying or what you got you on, I'm not on, nah, just, you got it, whatever.
and now they're inside the store. The guy's standing a few feet from the counter. The old man is coming in the frame from this side. And he's like, you know, he just beefing. He's barking on the motherfucker. Because the old man is not being aggressive at all. So he's barking. So he's getting his shit off. He's doing his rapper thing. So he just randomly just pulls a joint out of his waist. Yeah, I'm like this is a little old man, bro. You can't possibly really feel threatened by this, bro. Like, come on. There's a white dude, fat looking hillbilly white dude with a little t-shirt on, big gut motherfucker standing there. They're standing there. So when the dude pulled out his gun, the old man walked up and said, man, it ain't the first time. Like, he's walking up on him like, you know, what I'm supposed to be scared? Like, man, come on with the bullshit, right? So he has this joint in his hand and he turns around and he's barking and popping the shit at the old man, whatever. And he goes to turn and the white dude puts his hand up to the old man like, you know, don't go behind him. Chill, stay right there. And as soon as the dude got to the door, went like this, fat white boy pulled out. Right on him. Bah, 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 bah. Hit him, right? And he don't know what the fuck is going on. He looking around, he getting hit and shit. He looking to the white boy, he turned to run out. And as soon as he get 2 feet out the door, I see him toss the pistol. And then turn, look at the white boy stepping in the door now, and he goes off frame. Presumably to go die.
The white boy didn't even see him throw that gun. Because I'm sure in his head, if you hit the nigga, you not thinking, yo, this nigga just threw his gun over there.
I had to watch it. I had to watch it a couple of times before I noticed it.
I'm waiting to see that drop. I'm waiting to see that shit drop to know, like, okay,
I'm like, he never raised it. He never raised it. I said, this nigga never raised. You got the shit out. You walk out the door with it in your hand. You're in the door. You're between 1 foot in the store, 1 foot outside on the sidewalk, and you hear shots. He don't know where they coming from because dude is standing right here. He looking at this guy. Dude is standing right here, and then he and it's like wow. He shot like 3 times before he got out the door. He must have like missed 1 or 2 of them joints because realistically he wasn't no more than 5 feet away from him.
Yeah.
He should have caught him right in the fucking face and neck and all that, right? But he still turned, ran, tossed the shit, turned around and looked. And when he turned around and looked, dude hit him again. And then he went off the frame, ran off the frame. Only to find out the fucking gun was fake. Because the cop was not, he was not charged for it. You know what I mean? And the gun was, just because I guess they thought because the gun was fake, he was going to go, fuck, I know the gun is fake. I know the gun is fake. You know what I mean? Like, and who the fuck is gonna, this a grown ass man talking mad aggressive, wearing all red, trying to look like you know what the fuck he trying to look like. And he gets himself hit the fuck up. And he's dead. I'm sure somebody somewhere care, but I don't give a fuck. As far as I'm concerned, the world's a better place. You know? So, you remember when I talked about a while back, sometime last year, about how these guys get on the internet and they make up these names so they can get their shit off. They call them trolls, whatever. But these motherfuckers are dealing with psychosis. We just hit the hour mark, so I'll be done in a second. So this motherfucker said, this is one of them guys who personifies this idea. So you make up a name, right? His name is Dexter Chestnut, right? But online, his name is Killer 187, right? So when he gets online, he doesn't talk like Dexter Chestnut. He talks like Killer 187. I've explained this before. When you practice something, mentally or physically, the more you practice it, like when you start out to do something that you've never done before, you're aware of your level of competency with it, your level of ability with it. You're aware of it. You're aware. I don't really know, like when I get a new house, I don't know how to get there. I have to look at my navigation in order to get there. And I got to pay attention. Where to make the left, where to make the right, where to go straight, you know what I'm saying? But after a while, like, I have to get off the phone and be like, yo, I'm on my way to this new crib, bro. I don't even know what the fuck it is. I got to get off the phone, pay attention to my navigation.
Like the house.
Right. Exactly.
Drive past that motherfucker.
Bro, I think, you talking about the house down there?
Yeah.
Or the house here? Which one?
The house that was down here.
Okay.
Out in the country.
So I had the house for, I'm ashamed to say, but I had the house for like 6 months before I could get there without using navigation, bro. It was so fucking tucked away, bro. Like, I was like, yo, where the fuck am I? Right? And don't go at nighttime. Fuck me, bro. Right? So the point is, like, I knew I needed the navigation. So I know I got to get off the phone so I can pay attention to navigation, because I am conscious of my lack of competence in getting to this place. Right? So that's conscious incompetence. I know that I do not know. Right? At the point at which I am doing it constantly, I may not necessarily need the navigation, but I must pay attention. So I still got to get off the phone. I may not have to look at the nav, but I still got to get off the phone because I got to watch what I'm doing. Right? So I got to get off the phone. You see where I'm going. Now I'm reaching a level of conscious competence. I know how to do it, but I have to pay attention. Right. After a certain point, I can be on the phone, be fucking with the radio, and be thinking about what I'm going to be doing later, and end up at the crib and be like, oh shit, I got here quicker than I expected. Because I've become unconsciously competent. I don't have to think about it consciously to get there, to do it. I'm unconsciously competent. So those are the 3 stages. There's conscious incompetence. Then, is it unconscious, conscious incompetence, then conscious competence, then unconscious competence. Okay. So when these guys start, what's happening in the process of that, right? When you're going from one stage to the next, is that you're building a neural network. You're building up the network of, I don't want to get into technical shit, but like it's a network of thoughts. And those network of thoughts gets built up over time and stronger over time with your consistent engagement in thinking about what you're thinking about. The more you think about it, the stronger those connections get. And that network for being able to do it's like being trained to do something. It's like being trained to operate a machine. You come in, you're not operating a forklift? No, okay, I'll teach you. All right, this does this does that does this does that. You ain't gonna go, oh, okay, got it. Like very, very, very few people will be like, oh, okay, you told me, now I got it, I get it done, right? That's very, very rare that anybody will be able to do that, right? So everyone's watching will see it on the screen. The How Stupid, what book is most influenced you? Oh, How Stupid asked me what book has most influenced me. What book has most influenced me? I would have to say Women who love too much. I think the book influenced me most. This popped up on, I didn't know they could even do that, but it's a little thing here, a little circle with a question mark in it. Somebody can put a question in or a highlight, and I'll see it. I can answer it. So when you engage in thinking about something like, how to operate a forklift, you're going to have to keep doing it. They're going to have to keep showing you. You're going to have to keep practicing. You're going to keep asking them. But the more you do it, the better you will become, to the point where you won't have to be like, I can't think of nothing else. I'm operating this forklift. Don't call me. I'm operating this forklift. Don't pay. I can't do nothing else. So that's because of a neural network that gets built up over time from constantly engaging, constantly doing it, to the point where it becomes part of your brain, part of you, part of how you are, right? You're not just a guy who is working at this warehouse. You're the guy who knows how to operate the forklift at this warehouse, right? When you first got there, you were just a guy who got a job at the warehouse. Now you're the guy who got a job at the warehouse operating the forklift because you've learned how to operate the forklift. Now that is part of who you are. It's part of your brain, it's part of your brain's operation. Okay. Now, how does this relate to what I was talking about a guy like the guy we talking about that got shot the fuck up, and this whole online, I made up my name. I'm not Dexter Chestnut when I'm online. When I'm online, I'm Killer 187. Because when you get online and you make up this persona, and this persona is different from you, so you start to do the things or say the things that you think this persona would do. And at first, it's like, what would Killer 187 say to that person? They might say, fuck you, nigga, whatever, we could do whatever. Because I'm not really this person. I'm Dexter Chestnut. I don't really know what Killer 187 would do. I get these ideas from the internet, from rappers, and what would they say, under these circumstances? Somebody said this, or somebody post something like that. What would they say? So that's what Killer 187 is built on. It's built on these aggregate ideas that he's pulled from different images, movies and TV shows and rap records and rap videos, and comprised this idea of Killer 187. And then he gets to get online after being pushed around all day at work, after being treated like a bitch by his girl, disrespected by his mother or whatever have you. And he get online and he gets to take Dexter Chestnut off and put Killer 187 on. Killer 187 don't go for nothing from nobody. Yeah, and it's kind of like a mental release. It's like a therapy. I get to get on here and say things to people that I could never say in real life because I'm Dexter Chestnut and I'll get my teeth knocked the fuck out. Right? So they get on there and they start doing this. And it goes from, man, fuck that, fuck you, and block. And, then it's, yeah, nigga, we can do whatever, nigga, where you at? I'll pull up, nigga, pull up, It's like, after a while, it's like, yeah, they can't pull up. Nobody can hold me accountable. I can do anything. I can say anything. But what they don't know is that they're building up that neural network for Killer 187. They're making Killer 187 part of themselves. It's part of you. You're creating a compartment in your brain where Killer 187 lives. And the more he lives, the stronger he gets, the more mental real estate he takes control of. After a while of being able to say things and speak in a way and act in a way online that you never could in real life, and not have to deal with any of the consequences. And on top of that, the wilder you go, the more encouragement you get, because there's a bunch of Dexter Chestnuts on this motherfucker going through the same thing you going through, nigga. Personality and identity motherfucking crisis. You dig? So they're encouraging you. You have a cheering section online as Killer 187 that you don't have nowhere near in the real world as Dexter Chestnut. So Killer 187 is becoming more and more and more real in your head. And that's where reality exists. Perception is reality. So what you perceive is reality, whether anybody else agrees with it or not. It's how you see that. That's how people get killed and go to jail and get, fucked up in life, because they have this perception that doesn't line up with the general reality everybody else is living. You know what I mean? And when they come into conflict with that, that's when they find out it ain't what you think it is. So now you got this online encouragement. You got these people who are following you because they love how wild Killer 187 is, and he be saying whatever, and he do whatever. He be getting, he telling niggas pull up all the time, and I want to be like Killer 187 when I grow up, right? So now you got this whole network of neurons in your fucking brain that are, Killer 187. Now you start dressing the way that Killer 187 would dress, even though you're still Dexter Chestnut, right? You start, wearing certain things you think Killer 187 would wear. And, now when you are at work or at home or in the neighborhood, whatever, you kind of saying things that Dexter Chestnut wouldn't necessarily say, but Killer 187 might say it, And, might not be nothing too crazy. You might hit a nigga with, man, fuck you, nigga. And it's like, Dexter? What's this when Dexter started telling niggas fuck you and all that? Okay, I see. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I see. You change your style a little bit, huh? You starting to growing into yourself. You feeling yourself, whatever. All right. But that's Dexter. Ain't nobody paying Dexter no motherfucking mind, man. We didn't see Dexter get beat up by girls since we was in 4th grade. Like, Dexter ain't never won a fucking fight in his life. But anybody paying attention? Ain't nobody really threatened by Dexter, no matter what Dexter's saying, right? And then they look up one day and Dexter's wearing all red from head to motherfucking toe. And he talking like this, you know what I'm saying? He's talking like, y'all to me, you dig, you know what I'm saying? It's like that, you know what I'm saying? My niggas like, we get down, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? We go pull up on motherfuckers, you blast nigga out, man, you know what I'm saying? Dig? And it's like, oh shit, like, Dexter done went full on Killer 187, like, but still nobody that know him is really paying this nigga no attention. But the fact that nobody's stopping him is basically everybody encouraging him. Now, when I was coming up, that wasn't gonna happen. Because your ass would have got stopped the moment you stopped acting like yourself. The moment. Motherfucker would have been, hey, what the fuck is you doing? Straighten up. Why you walking like that? Why you talking like that? Stop acting like that. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood would have been doing it. That's how it was, right? So now you find yourself completely overtaken by this Killer 187 persona that you made up. And you're walking like it, you're talking like it, you're acting like it. And you decide one day you're going to take this really realistic looking fake prop gun that you found on Temu, and you're going to take this shit and put it in your dip, like you see niggas doing online all the time. Because why not? What's the big deal? I mean, I'm not hurting nobody. I'm cosplaying. If a nigga can act like he is Dragon Ball Z, why can't I act like I'm Killer 187? For all we know, there's probably a convention of these motherfuckers at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like Street Con, Gangster Con, or some dumb shit like that. I hope I don't give nobody no fucking ideas. But at that point, that's when you get a person like that. A person who would dress up to make themselves look like they're part of, Blood Nation or, Pyru or whatever the fuck have you, Brim or whatever the fuck have you, you know what I mean? And put a fake gun in their waistline and then go find somebody they think is the easiest target with the least likely negative response. And not realize that when you start putting that kind of energy out there, whatever it is you think you're going to get out of it, in addition to whatever it is you think you'll get out of it, there's all this other stuff that comes with it. It's part of it. And if you're in for the penny, you're in for the pound. You can't separate them. So if you're in it for the, nigga, I'm saying I'm blasting off on niggas, man. I'm telling niggas whatever. I'm telling niggas suck my dick and all that, whatever, this and that. And thinking that other niggas who really like that aren't paying attention to that. And you don't know that the way that works is, oh, word? Yeah, I don't believe you. Let's see. Or, in the case of this guy, I believe you. this kind of psychosis, which is en masse now, it comes from the foundational idea that there is no code. So anybody can do anything. There is no standard that you have to aspire to meet so you can. There is no standard. Anybody can do this. Anybody can be this. All you got to do is dress this way, talk this way, act this way. And you're that. And they think that because they don't know that the things they're seeing, the people whom they want to emulate doing, are actually who these people are. They think that everybody is doing what they're doing. Dude in the red in that video, he thought everybody was doing what he was doing. Like I've said before, all liars think everybody's lying. All thieves think everybody would steal the first chance they get. And this simple-minded, backward-ass monkey bullshit is going to be the death knell of many, many more motherfuckers if you niggas don't get yourselves together. If you don't get yourself together, then you're not going to get your children together. You get your children together, then your children are fucking doomed. And if they have any children before they die, we're all going to be fucking doomed. So I'll leave you with that. I got to get out of here, son.
All right.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
All right. Remember, man, think critically so y'all can live wonderfully. Peace.